How's it going, fellow Titans? Welcome back to a brand new Titans Season 4 update video. And it really does feel like we've hit that time of year now, because this is my second update video for Season 4 in just, well, the span of a week, which is crazy because, I mean, before that, I hadn't done a little video since some time after Season 3, you know, but now it seems that some news is popping out from under the woodwork. And by the way, if you've somehow missed my previous Season 4 update video, do check it out. I go over Joseph Morgan being cast as Brother Blood, plus we've got the casting for Mother Mayhem as well as Jinx, so we go all into those details in that video. So on top of the excellent casting, which Titans always seems to manage to do, today is somewhat of another casting video, and I'm not gonna lie, a casting that I've been potentially, well, a lot of us have been waiting for a very long time, and that is that it seems that Lex Luthor might be coming to Titans Season 4. And I say might because it technically is a rumor. It hasn't been officially confirmed. But I'm not going to lie, guys. Having covered Titans for kind of in the 4th season now, so since the beginning, for quite a few years, it is usually quite reliable when stuff like this specifically comes out. And this is coming from the Illuminati, and they get into their own context of reliability. So I'm not going to lie, given the storyline of Titans and Superboy and how he was involved, the Lex Luthor Easter eggs that we got when Mercy Graves was involved, maybe it is time that he does appear. So, the Illuminati's title is as follows: Titans, this legendary DC villain, spoiler, has a surprise role in Season 4 exclusive. So, the Illuminati has learned that an iconic supervillain from Superman's Rogues Gallery will be appearing in the upcoming 4th season of the hit HBO Max DC TV series, Titans. They go and say they're fans of Joshua Orpin's Superboy character, who was introduced in Season 2 of Titans, as well as lovers of the Cadmus Labs and LexCorp parts of the DC Universe. Prepare yourselves, because the Illuminati has learned that Lex Luthor will be making a surprise appearance towards the beginning of Titans Season 4. From what we are hearing, Lex Luthor will not be a regular Titans cast member this season. This version of Lex Luthor will be 40 or older, and his appearance is intended to be memorable. Now, when it comes to reliability from the Illuminati, they go on to somewhat say here, we've had our ears to the wall of this upcoming project. In January 2021, we exclusively reported that Titans was negotiating with Joseph Morgan, Frank Potente, and Lisa Ambalavenar to play the supervillains Brother Blood, Mother Mayhem, and Jinx respectively. Shortly afterwards, Deadline wrote a report stating that the trio had been cast for Season 4. So obviously this technically doesn't guarantee that this is a true factual report and their scoop is 100% true. Always take stuff like this with a grain of salt, but just given, you know, the fact that they have, and, you know, just based on previous videos we've done on previous seasons, the Illuminati has popped up several times before, and given the context of the show, it does feel right that at some time, some way, some shape or form, that Lex would appear. And I've been saying, if you've been watching my videos for the longest time as well, even last season, that I feel like next season we need some more substance with regards to each character, like their own development, not just capitalizing on 1 or 2 or 3 and leaving the rest out on the lurch. We need genuine development for every character: Beast Boy, Raven, Superboy, and obviously when we're getting to Superboy, that pertains to, well, kind of his parents, I suppose you would say, Lex and Clark, which, yeah, I guess I'm not going to go down that road of thinking. But no, as we know, he's cloned. And when we got those scenes in Titans Season 2, and I know everyone has mixed opinions on Titans every single season, myself included, but the golden stuff of lore within the DC universe of Superboy, when he found the Cadmus Labs failed clonings of basically the other versions of himself that, you know, never came to be, and how disfigured and horrid they were, that was so freaking cool, because obviously half of it you could tell was like Lex, and the other half, you know, as it was coming together in this back to tank looking thing, it just shows you the depths of what Lex Luthor is willing to do, honestly. And so for this universe, the Titans universe, to somewhat build this character up ambiguously, because he has, I mean, we've even been to his childhood home with Lionel Luthor there. We've actually seen him in photographs around his family house, so this has somewhat been a long time coming. So if we do have the Church of Blood coming this season, which is going to be the main main arc, I'm guessing. You know, we have quite a lot going on there. If you saw my last video, you'll know that I'm absolutely ecstatic at the news of Joseph Morgan having the role of Sebastian Blood and what that will mean for the Titans, and how, to be honest, you know, the Church of Blood equipping powers such as magic could be quite a challenge for Superboy and all of the Titans, including Raven, to go up against. So having maybe a bit of you know, other thing going on this season, and I don't know if I quite want to call it a massive other thing, because as they said, it will be somewhat short at the beginning, memorable. Maybe they just want to give us a little bit more this season, maybe dart a few little bits and pieces here and there, akin to kind of what I was saying at the beginning of this video, all while we'll have a main antagonist this season, and that will be slowly introduced, I'm sure, with some really cool moments, and then as usual in a season of a show, it will get really into the plot and into the main characters' faces as to what is going on and what they're dealing with. As for the character development, well, maybe we're going to get a bit of Superboy at the beginning of the season. I just hope, despite how much of a fan I am of hearing this rumor potentially being true, I hope that this doesn't take away from character development from maybe Beast Boy, Raven, and anyone else for that matter. I mean, we still have yet to really see a solidified cast for Titan Season 4, because we can't forget there might be certain characters not coming back. But initially, this is going to be, from what we've heard from Brenton Thwaites, a bit more an on-the-road season. Not necessarily an on-the-road show, but it will have aspects and elements of a show like that, which could, as you can imagine, make a pit stop in Metropolis, and that's how Superboy maybe has an interaction with Lex Luthor. But this is the larger thing. What's the story going to be? If it's going to be memorable, what the heck does that mean? I mean, in of itself, I am so super fascinated. Again, I don't want to drag this video out for too long, even though I love jumping at the chance of rambling about Titan Season 4 in general and just hearing about rumored castings, which I'm pretty solid Lex will be coming. Loads of ideas flow through my head. I love the premise in how Lex, in a somewhat Young Justice sense, he could be out there, he could have had some interaction with Superman before, he could be coming in somewhat of a suit get-up, and he's out there running LexCorp still and things like that. So he could have an interaction with Superboy akin to that, and then it doesn't really last for too long because it's somewhat of an interaction where he meets his son, I guess you could say, and perhaps, just perhaps, maybe Connor hearing all of these bad things about Lex and knowing that is the bad side of himself and the good side is from Clark Kent / Superman. Maybe the interaction kind of screws with his head a bit, because the interaction he has with Lex might not be as bad as he expected it to be, because there might be a bit of deception and manipulation from Lex, as you can imagine. But again, if they do go down that road, I do hope they write it pretty damn decently, considering that Cadmus Labs was basically pitching to sell Superboy to all of those people at the end of Season 2 through Mercy Graves. Like, Lex was basically willing to do that. So, again, this interaction and news of potentially Lex Luthor coming to Titan Season 4 is so intriguing to me as to what they can do. Now, the reason why I don't think it's going to be like a jail visit or something like that, because it did seem, from what we saw from Mercy Graves, you know, being on the phone to Lex and whatnot, that he is a larger-than-life character out there in the world. Granted that, per this report, we won't be getting him as a series regular or anything. They'll probably put a bit of logic into that as to why he's not in the show all the time. Is because he's the big bad Lex Luthor doing all these little bits and pieces, dealing with LexCorp, probably coming up with a new plan to take down Superman, this, that, and the other. But there's a little bit of a pit stop along the way in where he meets a literal half clone of himself and a half clone of Superman. And that interaction to me has me super duper fascinated, but I'm not gonna, you know, BS you guys. I couldn't really tell you exactly what is going to happen. Ultimately, I think, you know, just intuitively, despite what Superboy knows, that it, you know, Lex is the bad guy, no matter what, this guy, for all intents and purposes, as far as we know, hasn't even met Superman. You would have thought, a lot of people have commented this, that he could have written a line where in off-season between 2 and 3, Bruce could have contacted Clark and got him to have like some words and interaction with Superboy, and they could have referenced that in Season 3. Granted, though, people would probably be really pissed that they didn't get to see that conversation. But again, back to my main point, he hasn't had a conversation with Superman. So if he gets the opportunity to have any semblance of a conversation with the person who actually is one half of his parent, kinda, and the one who actually commissioned him to be created, I think whether he knows he's bad news or not, he will, just like any kid, well, not every kid, I guess, goes after their biological parent, but you get what I'm trying to say. He's going to have questions. He's going to want to learn more about him and maybe make a bit of a conclusion on Lex Luthor himself. And I think that is some rich material to get into. And also, we can't forget that even though Connor's mental age seems to have matured a bit in season 3, he's still quite liable to be, I suppose, manipulated by Lex. So there's all of that to come to expect. And, you know, one thing I do think is, I feel a bit sad almost on behalf of Connor and how there is a Batman out there. There is a Bruce who is aware of Connor Kent's existence, but he meets Lex Luthor first. Yeah, he hasn't even met the Superman first. I feel like, hey man, like Connor, you should have by now had an opportunity to speak to Superman. But no, it looks like his first impression is going to be from Lex, and that doesn't sound like a good influence to have, even if he's going into it with some prior knowledge. As far as castings, because I thought I'd mention this because I know someone will be like, Boba, who you got a fan cast? I really don't know. I'm a very indecisive person and particular person. Maybe it's because of my passion. Sometimes I can't really put it down to one. So I will actually leave the floor to you guys there. Who would you like to see cast in the role of Lex Luthor for Titan Season 4? Again, I do want you guys to bear in mind, since this could be happening, and I do think it is fairly likely, I could be wrong, that doesn't mean he's going to be in every single episode, and oh, another character when people just usually go with that with Titans. It's just going to be, I think, a complimentary, awesome thing to see. Whatever he has memorable, I'm sure is going to be really impactful, because, you know, I don't see why Illuminati would explain the appearances memorable or whatever his involvement will be as memorable unless it was memorable. The easy answer for me is to say that Michael Rosenbaum is like 49 now, so I would love for him to make a return, even though it's not technically the same universe. I mean, you know, there's a multiverse, so, but that's not really realistic, so it probably is going to be a new cast. Well, it is going to be a new casting, but Titans always hits the nail on the head, I would say, basically all the time with castings. You know, again, mega happy with the recent castings of the Church of Blood, plus Jinx, so whatever, and whoever's going to be casted as Lex is gonna probably not surprise me in how amazing that said actor is gonna, you know, fit in the role. But as for an official confirmation for this, I wouldn't be surprised if we're gonna wait months and months and months and months, because with season 3 castings, I was making videos just like this one, and we didn't get that Titans Twitter account make that official kind of casting post until like nearer the time. So that's usually how it works, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is true. So let me know your thoughts, your feelings on this down in the comments below. Let me know your theories as to how you think various plot lines could work out for Connor Kent meeting Lex Luthor. What do you think this memorable thing is, you know, despite his short and brief appearance at the beginning? I'm guessing, as I said, could it be a part of the road trip on that bus that Dick Grayson is taking the Titans on? Could it be the first stop, Metropolis, that is? But everyone, I've rambled enough, so I'm going to love you and leave you. Nice little Titans discussion today, and I will keep you up to date with all Titans Season 4 goodness, so this is the place to be. Like, when we get into promo stuff, actual footage, I'm going to be breaking it down, but in the meantime, I'll be updating you on updates just like this, I suppose. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you fellow Titans in the next video. Goodbye.